America was captivated by the Diddy case. The Howard Rubin case is the case. This is the one that makes Diddy look exactly what it was, small potatoes. Diddy was nothing. This is as sick and depraved as you can get, and it has everything that America wants. It has sex and depravity and BDSM and torture chambers and dungeons and pain and suffering and filth and grime and sickness and depravity and perversity. Has everything Americans understand. It's perfect. Nothing to think about, nothing to understand. It's perfect. But they're going to memory hole it. They're going to memory hole it so fast because he happened to be, at one time, Soros's fund manager. He's retired. And this is a guy who's involved in a lot of other groups. And don't be surprised. Prediction. I don't want to ever predict anything, but I will tell you, I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised if he's Epstein, because it would really make things a lot better. Because you see, the thing about that is once somebody is Epstein, all the investigation stops. It just stops. 100%. There's nothing to discuss. It's over. It's through. It's finished. And America doesn't say, hey, what about that? America doesn't even care about Charlie Kirk. America's got a 1-second attention span, like a gnat. It doesn't understand or remember anything. But this one, this is so good. Why was she? She bothered out $850,000 bond. They're alleging her husband and she, over 2 years, made $40,000, but received millions of dollars from unreported funds from Rubin. But she's allowed to bond out with $850,000 based on what? On what? How does this work? She's Ghislaine times 10. Who else does he know? I'm telling you, this thing would be really, really easy if somehow he went nighty-night, because this is going to get deeper and deeper. Or is it? Prediction. The bought and sold mainstream media are told, don't go there. Don't bother with this. Don't approach this. It's none of your business. Move on. Let's talk about Diddy. Diddy was nothing. He was nothing. Small potatoes, nothing. He had some people as baby oil. Big deal. You have women here who were hurt, damaged. You've got text messages. Why people continue to send text messages? I will never understand as long as I live. What are you doing? They send it and they're laughing at how some of these women have subjected themselves to the most inconceivable of pain and torture after this Jennifer Powers made them sign NDAs. Diddy didn't do that. Diddy had people lined up. They just showed up. He wasn't paying anybody anything. He was paying these women. This was trafficking, force, fraud, or coercion. This is sex trafficking. Do you know where he was? He lived on his apartment, $18,000 a month for this apartment that was reconfigured into a dungeon. Now, dungeons don't have to be underground, as you well know. It's the most incredible story there is. And watch what happens. Nothing is going to happen to it. Nothing. It's going to be memory hold. Watch. Shh, nothing to see her. She moves along. Maybe she'll flip against him and Who knew about this? Do you think he's the only one? Does he break into the sick, dark, dank world of the depraved? Oh, I'm telling you right now. And I will say this again and again. Watch what happens. You see, right now, we're in a very, very strange place right now, my friends. I want you to listen to me. Have you been watching Alex Jones, Roger Stone? Are you listening to what's happening with J.D. Pritzker? Are you seeing what's happening in Portland and in Chicago about the war on ICE? Are you seeing how Democrats are learning how to fight back? You're seeing levels of Antifa nobody is seeing. There is going to be a civil war. They are saying this. They are saying this. I'm not making this up. I'm not exaggerating. They are saying it's a civil war in the streets. Don't be surprised. False flags, lockdowns, riots, blackouts, supply chain sabotage, complete and total distortion and distraction, and the destruction, I should say, of normalcy. This isn't theory. This is reality. The elites are dismantling everything on schedule. And for the longest time, I tell people this, and they look at me and they say, what are you talking about? When will America understand this? If you had to go 1 week without food, oh, they would love this. To see the system collapse, to see you freak out and run around. You could take your cash, crypto, gold, Bitcoin, and you can, I don't know what you would do. Would you eat it? It's worthless when your family's hungry because you can't go a week. You think you can, but you're going to panic. Hunger is the weapon. Control is the plan. They are planning this. I'm telling you, survival is primal. Food, water, energy, ammo, that's it. That's the game. And that's why I have trusted and have been telling you, and they have been doing bang up business. And that tells you something. My Patriot Supplies 3-month food kit. Start with that. Over 2,000 calories a day, 22 meal varieties, a shelf life up to 25 years. And right now, 4 weeks free, a $247 bonus. Go to preparewithlionel.com. It's a link in the description section. Secure your food. Protect your family right now. Lock down your future. The storm, my friend, is here. Preparation isn't paranoia. It's survival. Preparewithlionel.com. Nobody wants to see this. I don't know anymore about what America likes, what they find interesting. I don't know. I gave up on that. I kind of been giving up on that. Because the world right now, you have no idea what's going on with AI. It is worse than, oh my God. People just don't grasp it. But this is the case in particular. America has the sexual sophistication of a pubescent 13-year-old. Low-hanging fruit. Nothing really, nothing big. When you have predatory sex, when you have people who use sex as a means of controlling people, predation, it's another world altogether. It really is. It's another world. When somebody, and by the way, one could argue, and believe it or not, it's not sex. Oh, yeah. Years ago, there was a woman, and I remember this. This was a woman, I remember this was the case. It was the case of a woman. She was a mistress or a bondage, BDSM kind of role-playing S&M mistress. She had her apartment configured. There was a wheel. Anyway, she was found dead. And later on, the authorities said she could not be charged with prostitution because it was not classical sex. It was something else. But it was different. And people laugh about this. They laugh about this. Why? Because it has the, how do I say this? Let me see. Because we never talk about it, because we never talk about it, there are people who don't really understand the notion of sexual predation. That's why Mrs. L has such a difficult time trying to convey to people and explain to people this notion of how what child predation is and what digital predation is, and that it's because people just don't really understand it, because we don't spend any time discussing it. We don't know about it. We think we know it. We think we're aware of it, but we are not. We are not. And a couple of things are going to happen. Don't be surprised if President Trump grants Diddy a pardon. Think about that. Could he do it? Could he do it? Absolutely. Could President Trump do it? Yep. Absolutely. What would be the benefit of it? What would be the benefit of it? Why would he do that? Because there's been some talk. Diddy says he asked for a pardon. Other people said no. Why? Well, the thing that militates against that is because he wasn't really given that long of a sentence compared to what he was looking at initially. But if President Trump could do that, it would be the biggest blow against lawfare, because Diddy was the victim of lawfare. This should have never been a federal case, ever, under any circumstance whatsoever. State case, yeah. Beating the hell out of Cassie, sure. Federal, no way. Racketeering, don't make me laugh. Sex trafficking, don't really make me laugh. And violation of the Mann Act, absurd. If Trump grants that, it will throw these people into a tizzy. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think the reason is? Why would Howard Rubin be allowed? These cases have been going on forever. There's law firms going after him, suing on behalf of the victims. See, that's another thing too. Why do you think? Do you think there's anything in our criminal justice system against or regarding the fact that Diddy is black? Oh yeah, absolutely. Do you think there's anything that goes on regarding the fact that Diddy is a prominent black and that he's more easy prey? Maybe it's more palatable, the notion of bringing him to trial. Oh, absolutely. Do you think racism exists in this country? Absolutely. Do you think it makes sense for us? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you don't think that there's this notion of racism, and when I mean racism, don't think of it in terms of prototypical hating black people, but an unsubstantiated differentiation of treatment based upon race. As far as I'm concerned, that's racism. And it exists. But Howard Rubin, 70 years old, retired, he's this kind of, he's a philanthropist, and look at him, and he's with all his friends and everything. See, people don't understand it. They don't get it. They don't know how to look at something and say, what's the difference? Because this is where wisdom comes in. What's the difference between this case and that case? And the difference is very simply this. When you have somebody who is if it's a mafia, we haven't had a good mafia case in a long time. I know they won't use the word mafia here, but Cosa Nostra, LCN, whatever you want to call it. We haven't had a good one in a long time because people love that. Oh, dear God, they love that. They're so in love with that mafia stuff. It's not even funny. Certain cases make sense. And Puff Daddy, or Diddy, not Puff Daddy, Diddy, John Coleman, oh, man. That was great. A lot of distraction, a lot of looking the other way. But this guy, Rubin, you don't think somebody's going to tell him, you know what? Do you think he's the only one who knows this? Do you think on his own he says, I'm going to just for grins, just for fun, I'm going to involve myself in a multi-million-dollar arrangement where I'm bringing people in beating them, hurting them. One woman, I don't want to go too much into the testimony because it's really bad. But this Jennifer, again, a woman, this Jennifer Powers, this woman who is the how do I say this? The cohort, the co-defendant. It's the most incredible news. Why is it that women do this? Why are women like Ghislaine Maxwell? Why are they so prone to assisting in this type of behavior? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that this is the reason why they're involved in this? What's the purpose behind this? What do you think they're involved in? What do you think what did they get out of this, so to speak? These are some of the issues which I find to be so fascinating. Pilgrim says, hola, jefe. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Pilgrim. And our good Fred gifted 10 Lionel Nation memberships. Isn't that great? Fred, you are a champ. You are a champ of the first order. Thank you so much for that. But what do you think? What do you think? Think about this. What's the real story behind this? 18,000. I mean, that's pretty mild compared to some of these things. To throw this money away because you have such a hobby. You want to bring people in, risk everything. You don't care. You don't care about getting caught. You don't care about it because you know so much. You're that connected. It's the only reason most people say, I'm not going to do this. Somebody's going to talk. Signing an NDA, you're committing sex. You can't sign that away. Don't you understand what happens here? The level of corruption we can get at. If we get a corruption, it's like when you attack a cancer or you attack disease or you attack predation. You hit them at every angle there is. And one of the things you do, one of the best things you can do, is to hit them from the level of predation. How do we do this? It's perfect. Don't be surprised. It's perfect. He's in Brooklyn. Eastern District is doing this, not Southern District, Eastern. Okay? He's with your boy Luigi. Something happens to him. Oh. Well, I guess he couldn't take the pressure. His family ruined like that. And how is this woman out on bond? Ghislaine didn't do it. Why her? What she did was worse. To be so sick, you're involved in ensnaring women who are desperate, single moms, people for whatever reason, who would do anything up to and including compromising their safety. They knew what they were doing to lend themselves to this pervert. And again, if the manifestation of it was S&M, it's not prostitution. If the manifestation, if the idea, if the agreement, if the consideration, so to speak, for a behavior like this is BDSM, role-playing, sadomasochism, bondage, fetishism, versus actual prostitution involving intercourse, the two are completely different. Think about that. The two are completely different. If somebody said, well, was there ever any kind of thing? Well, yeah, later on, there may have been some activity, but you can say, but that had nothing to do with what I arranged. You see, BDSM or fetish role play or bondage, dominance, submission, sadomasochism, Fred, you know this. It generally involves consensual adult behavior that may include physical restraint, pain tolerance, symbolic power dynamic. By the way, there were code words used and ignored. See, a code word, cinnamon, lifeboat, it lets people know. It's almost like the tap out in mixed martial arts. It lets people know when they are successful. When it's truly consensual and there's no sex or exchange of money for sex acts, it is not classified as prostitution. Prostitution, in contrast, is defined in nearly every U.S. jurisdiction as the exchange of sexual intercourse or contact for money or something of value. And consent isn't the issue. It's the commercial sexual transaction. So in a case like the one that we're talking about now, if a person was engaged in consensual fetish or role playing or something like that, and there was no exchange of sex for money, it was not prostitution. Because consent, you got to look at the consent. What was it? Was it freely given? That's another story too. It doesn't turn into prostitution. Purpose. And if you ask somebody, well, what were they paid for? The thing that's the most interesting is that if the people who themselves are, they make some type of gratification from this, it doesn't matter how it works. Is he sheep dipped? Don't know. CIA affiliate? Don't know. Why don't you say Mossad? He's Jewish. I don't know. I could be. It's a donation frenzy, fully operational and freely offered in consideration for Mangione family beat us. It's a donation frenzy, fully operational and freely offered in consideration for Mangione family beat us. Grazie. I have no idea what that means, but thank you very much for your consideration. I am fascinated by how human beings can show absolute disgusting behavior and violation of human beings and get off on it. This man got off on seeing people terrified. This man wanted to see, he wanted to inflict pain, to lure you in and then laugh at you. You didn't mean anything to him. You were beneath him. And he seemed so normal. He's this guy who, hey, look at me, comes in, smiles, and part of the New York community. Oh my God, can you imagine what this is like? My friends, I'm telling you right now, and I want you to listen to me. This is something really, really critically serious. And answer this question. If Trump grants, I could see granting Diddy a pardon. Absolutely. Absolutely. The Mann Act violation is ridiculous. He wasn't a pimp. He wasn't bringing people in for prostitution. It was for a party. Just like in this case, Mann Act wouldn't apply. He's not a pimp. He's not bringing people in for purposes of prostitution. And by the way, the role itself, the act wasn't prostitution. So that's not it. It's an incredible violation. Listen, do you know what's happening? Are you watching Pam Bondi on various hearings? Are you hearing how the J6, how Jack Smith basically went after senators? This is, I can't even keep track of this. I can't keep track of what's happening. We are 20-some days until the election to mayor of New York City. How many days until the New York City mayor election? Let's see what this is. Let's see what it tells us. And it is, it's going to be 28 days. 28 days. November the 4th. That's it. 28 days. 28 days. And let me see. And there is a big deal going on in this country. And what's happening, which is the most important thing in the world, let me tell you what's happening right now. For those of you who care, it's not just us, but you should be paying attention to New York and Portland and Chicago and every place else for that matter. It's very, 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 very serious. What's happening right now and what we're seeing is something of supreme interest. Let me see if I can explain this to you. There's this fellow who is a part of a movement that people will not want to discuss, but it's called, in some circles, the Islamicization of New York, of the country. It is the Islamicization. Do you hear what I'm saying? The Islamism, not Islamic, I should say. The sense of a kind of a weaponized Islam. And there are people, I'm listening, and there are people who are saying, how could this man possibly be in contention when he says terrible things about Israel? And I'm asking myself, do these people understand where America stands, for the most part, regarding Gaza, Palestine? Now, I'm telling you something as an observer. As an observer, do you think that, because people scratch their heads like, this is crazy. Why would anybody? On October the 7th, today is the 2-year anniversary of the October the 7th day of horror. However, whatever you want to call it. It's horrible. Changed everything. People died. People were taken hostage. Whether people knew about it, whether Israel, we can argue this all day long. And what came from that? What came from that was a cacophony, an elevation, a synchrony, a symphony, a coordinated chorus of people, Jewish, Christian, atheist, Muslim, name it, all coming out, including the ICC, the ICJ, you name it, Piers Morgan and Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk and all of these people. And they're saying for the first time, they're using the word genocide. We hope New York doesn't become like Blade Runner. Well, I think, Pilgrim, I thank you. I think it's a little exaggerated, but it's not good. But let me tell you again, these people don't understand it. When I used to talk about things like climate change, we laughed at climate change. Climate change was stupid, right? It was stupid. And people thought it was stupid and thought it was dumb, and that was it. Well, let me tell you something. There's a lot of people in the world who don't think it's stupid. And if you want to go into politics and if you want to pay attention to what's going on, you better not dismiss it. And that's what these people are doing. They're not even addressing it. They say, oh, these people are anti-Semitic. They're crazy. Listen to what they're saying. Address this. They're not going away. Don't fool yourself into thinking just because you think something's stupid, nobody else is talking about it. You understand this? Now, one more thing. I want to remind you of something, which is really good. And I'm so glad I heard about this. Do you remember our good friend Mike Lindell? Who remembers Mike Lindell? Remember that great mustache and the look? Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell was great. Mike Lindell was fantastic. Mike Lindell was terrific. Well, guess what happened? Mike Lindell one day decided to say what he wanted. And during that kind of a weird COVID time when everybody was shut up and shut down, they went after him and they wanted to grind him into dirt. The same way they want to go after Alex Jones, the same way they want to go after anybody, including President Trump, who doesn't toe the line. Well, Mike Lindell said, no, I'm not going anywhere. And they said it was over. They're closing his doors. It's a fire zone. And he said, I'm still here. He wants to get into politics, wants to run for office. I'd vote for him in a heartbeat. And what he did was he had this great company, MyPillow.com, with the most incredible Giza sheets. Their slippers, they sold more than anything. You don't even think about the slippers. You think about the pillows, which are great, but the slippers. Well, anyway, he's back. Correction. He never left. I want you to go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, mypillow.com/Lionel. The link is also in the description section. I want you to take your credit card, and I want you to buy everything under the promo code Lionel to support him and support us, and to say, way to go, Mike. We didn't forget you. Now, I'm not asking you to donate because he's a nice guy, though he is. I want you to also get the best stuff anybody can buy. American made, American workers, made here in this country. So it's mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. That's all I'm going to tell you. That's it. That's the end of it. Now, my friends, I'm telling you right now, I am seeing every sign that something big is happening. President Trump is planning something big. Real freaking big. Okay? Real freaking big. I know it, and you know it, and we all know it. Now, I don't know at what point this is. He's playing cutesy. He's going to meet with the guy from Canada. And Pam Bondi's, I got to hand to her, she just, broke it off. It was fantastic. Side note, I met Joe DiMaggio when I was 18. And you know what? I'm sure he never forgot it. I'm sure he never forgot it to the day he died. Thank you, Pill. Pam Bondi, I didn't even recognize her. She was just an animal in the best sense. They're planning something. Prepare for something big to happen. Very, very seriously big. I'm not kidding, my friends. So do me and do yourself a favor. Remember this. Pay very close attention. Pay very, very close attention. Watch what's happening. Follow us. Continue to follow us at Lionel Nation. Don't forget also Lionel Legal and Lynn's Warriors. We have so much. And I hope you're listening. I hope you're catching the show at night. I hope you're catching the show at night overnight on WABC. 77 WABC out of New York City. The number one, no bullshit, number one talk radio station in the nation. It is wall to wall. And overnights in New York City, and syndicated, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's the biggest thing you can imagine. So go to it's WABCradio.com. You can sign up, get the app, and do that as well. All right, my friends, follow Lynn's Warriors, Lionel Nation, and Lionel Legal. Have a great and a glorious day. Thank you to our generous friends and fans. Fred Haddad, thank you. Pilgrim Media, Mantoni Nick, thank you so much. And until we meet again, my friends, remember, keep listening. I've been putting these things out. When I have a time to do a live, I will do one with you. But watch. I got a lot to say. And until we meet again, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you.